Hi, and welcome to Lynes on Design. I'm Debbie Lynes today, here with Deb Copeland, and I am so excited to finally get a chance to ground you and say hello and talk about this incredible new space, the gallery. You've been here since November. It's at Main Street Village, and it is phenomenal. I've actually had the opportunity for the past hour to walk around and be mesmerized by all the incredible things. I want to talk, the way the show's going to work today is we're going to do two things. First, we're really going to talk about you and how you got involved in this.
Okay.
And then some of the wonderful items you have. And the second part, we're going to talk about things like bridal registries and all the cool things that you have within the gallery that you all are not going to want to miss also. So talk to me a little bit, Deb, if you can, about your background.
Well, the gallery came about by pure accident because I was a businesswoman, had sold my businesses, was enjoying semi-retirement. And I started a nonprofit to help other people.
Okay.
And it's called Live to Give a God Thing. And it was at 50, and I just decided I'll work for God the next part of my life. I was so blessed.
Give a God thing. I love that.
I was so blessed in my life, and there was no rhyme or reason for it other than grace and mercy and a little bit of hard work. And so when I started that, several of us were at the office one day, and we ended up with a larger office space. And I said, let's do something with this. What if I bring all of my excess, and you bring all of your excess, and we sell it? And we did that. Like, in 2 days we did it. And it sold, and it sold well. And
so just excess stuff that we all have around the house.
Excess.
Okay.
And so I had a home up north, and quite a large home, so I started bringing pieces that I really didn't need. Maybe I kind of had too much furniture in one room.
Right.
And some of my friends did the same, and it started going well. People started saying, will you do my house? I like your style. And I kept saying, no, that's not my thing. I've done several of my friends, but no. Well, I started doing their homes. So then we started ordering new lines, and so the gallery became all new furniture and accessories, lamps and rugs, and then we had a second-hand shop that was for the excess.
Oh my gosh. Did you know or have a feeling that you were not going to be able to semi-retire? I know you've got 6 children.
Yes. I knew that retirement to me would look differently because I have a lot of energy and had a life of 4,000 employees in 7 states and lots of travel and speaking on the national speaking circuit and doing all kinds of fun things. So I knew to flip that switch, it wouldn't be easy, but I also knew that that life was, you know, phasing out and sold the businesses, and it was time to do something, you know, for other people. It was a real calling on my life.
You also are an author. You're a very well-published, well-thought-of author. Can you share with us a little bit about some of the books and how you got involved in that? And actually, they're for sale here, which is really nice.
Thank you. Thank you. The first book was 2006 called Attitude Therapy. It was a course I had taught for years and years.
I love the name.
Union Carbide, Dow Chemical, DuPont's, those types of companies. And it was more a secular book on our attitude isn't about what's happening to us, whether it's the cancer, the divorce, the whatever, but rather how we choose to respond. And I say choose because there are choices.
It is a choice. That's absolutely.
And if I have a knee-jerk reaction and react, that's one thing.
Okay.
But if I think it through a little bit and plan for those things, because they're going to march into our lives.
True.
Not in any order. Not 1, 2, and 3. And then a plan to deal with them. They will march into our lives. So we were having great success back then in employee retention, employees showing up for work, employees showing up for work and not staying on the phone all day talking to the home, which was the problem, or the babysitter, or the child, or the divorce, or whatever.
I love the name Attitude Therapy. It makes so much sense. How have you integrated your past business history, again, here with the gallery?
Shall I tell you what my husband says? Yeah. He says, I love when you're in the ministry. I love when you're in the mission field. I don't like you in business mode because you're so serious and so on purpose, and I think people don't see the real you, and I say that is the real me.
That is me, yeah.
That
I'm
is
more
the
than
real
one
me.
thing. I'm lots of different pieces.
You know, that is the real me, and it's the real me from a compilation of things. I grew up and had a really tough life. So on purpose, I was called to be a serious person, a go-getter, a no-nonsense kind of gal. While I have a great sense of humor when it's casual, when it's business, it's all business.
Okay.
So one thing that has happened doing so much ministry work and just the stress level, it doesn't matter if we make a penny in here. It really doesn't.
Okay.
I come, I turn on the lights, we see what happens, and at the end of the year, I don't take a salary, and I give all the money I would have made to local charity. And not just ours, to others. So anything to do with presenting Christ to kids.
Well, it's been really interesting. When you talk about starting the gallery, you started with taking excess from you, excess from your home, your friends, and it has grown exponentially. How did you see things kind of percolate? How did you see things come to you? Did you find that people were giving you things, that it was just necessary to buy some goodies?
You know, I think when people started asking me into their homes for my ideas, and they started saying, well, you know, I really don't want a used piece for this, but I'd rather have a new piece. It was the need. It was the need. And so having been from a business background, there's probably a certain amount of bravery there. And I just said, hey, let's just get some lines. Let's go for it. If it works, great. Again, if it doesn't, for me, I'm the biggest donor anyway to the charity. So it's like my money we're kind of playing with versus money that I'm begging you for, or saying give me $100 for this project. So I said I'll just go out on a limb personally and I'll write the check and we'll get some things in while it's working.
Well, it's interesting to me because when I came in, it is, and I was walking through, Deb was taking me through, it's as though she's talking to me, if I may talk, like you're not here, right? It's as though she's talking to me about not pieces of furniture or things, but it's about this local artist, or this is how there are stories behind every, from a cute whimsical bracelet to the little heart necklace you showed me. There's a story behind everything, and I think that's what makes it so exciting to come in. It's not as though you're just looking at stuff.
And you're right.
Looking at stories. If
you're right, and you made me aware of that. I don't know that I was cognizant of that before, but I won't say anything in particular. But keep in mind, I've been in the ministry down here now 6-7 years, and I've done everything from taking a group of ladies from prostitution to real jobs. I've done everything from teaching in our art and soul how to make those bracelets, how to make those earrings, and I would have never had that opportunity as a successful businesswoman or the time to do that. But in my ministry and teaching, it's a privilege and an honor to offer some of the pieces. From the artists, from the jewelry makers, to the people that I've watched come from down and out to making a living with their own works of their hands.
But
it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, amazing pieces of art that are, I mean, unbelievable. They really are. One of the things that I've noticed is the diversity and eclecticism. Is that a word?
Yes, and there's too much of it.
No, it's amazing. There's something here for everyone. Again, the couple of times that we've walked in, it seems to me like every time you walk in, it's a whole different feeling and flavor when it comes to all the goodies that you have.
Right.
Do you try to have, how would you explain the flavor or feel of the store? Oh, this is a good one for her.
You know, I walk in and I see different things. Okay.
Yeah.
And everything that comes through the front door, usually I've had something to do with it. But like this past weekend, I was in Charleston.
Okay.
And I met with an artist whom I don't know. And I said, would you like to put some things in our shop? And she said, I don't know, I'll check it out. And so I said, check us out. She checks us out online. She calls, well, she texts me.
All right.
She goes, my gosh, our stories are the same. Do you know what I do with the proceeds of my art? Well, she gives them away to homeless people. So from that standpoint, we're on the same page.
Okay.
Then we text
Like
back and forth a
souls,
couple
right?
of other times. And the most fun thing was that today we're texting, and I said, would you like to come to my Thursday luncheon? She says, sure, but I have to check. I have 2 high schoolers at home.
Oh, as do. As do you.
So it's just details. It's always like a blessing. I just come turn the lights on and God provides the rest. I know that sounds corny.
It
It's
doesn't
true.
sound corny at all. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about some of the incredible goodies that are here. We're going to talk about gurgle pots and chirpers and beautiful jewelry and forehands and
Okay.
reconstituted wine. Unbelievable things. Stay with us. We'll be right back here on Lynes on Design. We are back here on Lynes on Design. Once again, we're at the gallery. We've got folks coming in and out, which is absolutely wonderful. Deb Copeland is here. She is the founder and is the owner of the gallery, and it is quite spectacular. And it's really fun. People who do come in, they know you. They're so excited to say hello. It's really incredible. We're going to take this part of the show to talk about some of the wonderful things that you actually have, some of the furniture pieces. You have a wedding registry. I'm going to talk about that.
We do, and it really came about just out of need.
Okay.
Several people said, I love your style. How can we get a present for this couple? Mm-hmm. And so we started poking around, and we found the perfect line. It's called Second Day, Made in America, Repurposed Wine Barrels.
Oh, unbelievable. I just have my little checkoff list of things I'm going to get when I leave. Talk to us a little bit. You've actually got one example right here.
I do have an example.
Here, I'll hold this.
Thank
and
you, ma'am.
you're very welcome.
This, of course, is, you can tell, the wine barrel shape. This is the color of the wine, which was inside.
I love it.
And then they've put some really sturdy little legs on it, and they call this their single appetizer. And then there's a double, and there's a triple. And when you have them on a table, they're awesome.
I just think it's amazing.
They're awesome. And rustic, cool, new,
Goes
young.
with anything. Classic, classic.
Very
One of the
classic.
other things, and we're going to show you pictures of these too, is the Lazy Susan.
Yes, yes, I love the Lazy Susan.
Talk to us a little bit about that, because you've also got that. We're so cool, aren't we? Did you see that we just switched? She's like, oh, that would so not be mine. But that you can also have those monogrammed.
You can, and they do an established in. So if it's Smith and Jones getting married, this is the Jones family, established May 2016. It's really cool. I did one for my home because I just thought it was incredible.
Well, the other thing you talked about was the wine rack.
They have wine racks. They have several different kinds. Some people put them on the wall and use them for towels.
Okay.
Like
oh, that's
roll the
smart.
towels in the bathroom. Others use it for the wine.
Okay.
They're all affordable. They're all somewhere between $150 down for wedding gifts.
Oh, that's amazing.
And they're substantial. When you open it, you're like going, oh my gosh, you can't put that price on it.
So if you are a potential bride,
Yes.
please come in and register.
Yes.
Go ahead.
The funny thing is we have brides out of state. And that's the other neat thing about our art. They come in, they say, I like that piece of art. That's not necessarily what a bride is looking for, but we've noticed 2 or 3 pieces have just sold out of state where they were here vacationing. They were getting married.
Take a little bite home.
They wanted a picture. I said, we can't really do pictures. And when they're serious, I call the artist, and the artist says, fine. And they order them. And several commissions for wedding gifts, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, I want to talk about the art, because one of the things you said when I walked in was one of your greatest surprises was all the incredible art that sold. And so, right?
And it hasn't been for years, for years. And I'm not sure that art is totally back, because there's all kinds of different ways that the younger generation chooses to decorate. But for whatever reason, I said maybe 6 or 8 weeks ago, well, it was right at Christmas, at December, the middle of the December, I said, you know, we're having some art sales, but I kind of pushed back a couple of artists and said, let's wait. And lo and behold, we sold everything in the shop. So now they're busy working and scrambling and bringing new art in.
One of the things that I noticed too is the store is anchored with these amazing pieces of furniture. And that's probably the best kept secret.
It is. It is. We sell a lot of Bramble. The way we started selling Bramble is we were refinishing pieces 6 years ago, 5 years ago, for people. And several of my clients, again, said, I have a need for this. I really don't want a piece that maybe was in a fire, or I have allergies.
Right.
I don't want a piece that maybe was in a flood. So how can we do something new? And so I researched Lynes. We started carrying Bramble. I had several pieces in my home, and you can design your own piece.
Amazing.
So you may like this piece, I might like this piece, but visually we see it differently. So we go to the blocks of wood and we pick our stains, we pick our level of distress, we pick perfect if we want perfect mahogany. We have a nice perfect mahogany. So it does allow the client some to invest some of their ideas of what they like in their home.
Well, it's really fun. A client was in here when we were talking before, and she had a specific need, and you were like, we got 9,000 lines. I'm sure we can find what you need. And I think that's something that you really need to know, because there really is something
We
for
really
every...
don't have 9,000.
Okay, fine.
But we
a
do
slight
have quite a
exaggeration.
bit.
Now, I also noticed when I walked in, beautiful Dash and Albert rugs everywhere.
We do a lot of rug business. We do the pillows, we do the lamps, we do stray dog lamps, we do four hands furniture if you want a little quicker turnaround. You know, the Bramble's 20 weeks.
Is it really now?
20 weeks.
But sometimes you get, it's worth it, gives you time to plan, gives you time to organize. You've got great bedding pieces too. Pinecone Hill, which for anyone who knows bedding is, I love it. It's versatile, it's practical, it's timeless.
It is. And then there's a brand Pom Pom. I don't know if you're familiar with Pom Pom, but it's kind of a fun little line too. It's a little less expensive, quality's still there.
Okay.
Just a little different flair.
So I think what I'm hearing from you is it's not just the finishing touches pieces that you have, but it's some of the big room anchors. How do you, what helps you when people come in to buy furniture? What do you want from them that can make your job easier?
I usually tell them to bring me pieces. I suggest if they have a designer, they bring the designer.
Perfect.
Then they
Makes
can
sense.
look, then they can talk, then they can let me know when they're ready to order. If they don't have a designer, we do have a designer.
Perfect.
And we have Saturday designing times.
Oh.
So we have free design. We have our designer, who is usually an hourly contract rate, who gives us 12 Saturdays a year.
That's awesome.
You bring your pieces, your pictures, your actual finishing pieces, a drawer from something or whatnot, and you come and make an appointment. You sit at a table for as long as you want.
How
and we just help you. Now that usually does develop into a client.
That's fine.
But you know, for the most part, a lot of that we are able to do at no cost, because she can come back next month too.
Oh my God,
She
that's
doesn't
pretty
have
exciting.
to start an hourly rate
Yes.
if she doesn't want to. But yeah, we like you to bring your designer or your pictures of.
Sure.
And that way I don't work against the designer, and the
No.
designer already
There's
knows.
right. There's
they know what their
plenty-
client
right,
wants.
Right.
And I would rather them work that out, and then I'll just take orders. I'll
I
sit there
love
and take
that.
orders. But
Okay, so here's what we've talked about. We've talked about furniture pieces. We've talked about wedding registry. Thank you very much. One of the things I want to talk about now are some of the fun little hostess gifts and gifts that you have. That darn gurgle pot and chirpy.
I'm so surprised that you don't know about gurgle pots.
I can't believe I
Aren't
didn't
they
know
a
that.
hoot?
I'm embarrassed that I didn't know.
No.
Because now I'm going to be all over
You
those.
want embarrassment. The first time I bought one was
Okay.
out of state in California, and I didn't know it gurgled, but I liked the artist having that piece, and I
Right.
thought it was a great wedding gift. This is awful. People will hate me from here on out. I bought dozens, shipped them home, and every wedding I gave, you know, a white gurgle pot. Well, I didn't know they gurgled until a little boy walked in my shop when I started carrying them, and there's a sign that says it really gurgles. And he says, "Ma'am, does this gurgle?" And I said, "Let's try it."
Right.
We tried it, and we all laughed ourselves silly. It is our #1 seller in this shop. People come in and get gurgle pots many daily. Like, I order cases a month.
Well, again, a client walked in and boom, just bought one now. But what about the new little chirpies?
The Chirpy's fun.
Those are cute.
The Chirpy, of course, is a wine bottle stopper, pourer. pour. And so when you pour, it chirps.
Okay.
And made by the same artist of a gurgle pot. We can't keep them in. We're out. We have a waiting list of, you know, close to 100 right now.
This is a riot.
They'll be back in April. We couldn't believe how well they sold, nor could the artist. So now they're back in production. It's the coolest gift for people that have everything. It's funny. I gave them to my grandkids. I washed out old wine bottles and I put their name on the outside, and their orange juice and their water goes in them. So they're excited to go get a drink of water because why? He chirps.
Right. I know that we have a whole show here on Lynes on Design at the gallery, but I'm telling you, that's just not enough. We haven't even touched on some of the beautiful jewelry pieces that you have. And there is a spiritual essence throughout the entire store here.
There is.
That you should be really, really proud of. And again, if you haven't had the chance to come into the gallery here at Main Street, you really need to do that. And you've got another place down the street too.
I do. Art and Soul is reopening on March 5th. And that's where we teach our art lessons. We do our Bible classes. We teach forgiveness classes. About 16 or 17 artists will be teaching. Fun things. Fun things. And they're so good at what they do that even if I take the class and I'm not so good, I still go home with a piece that looks okay.
We might have to have you back on Lynes on Design and focus one day on jewelry and maybe focus on some of the things that you do have locally made here, because you've got some incredible artists. You really do.
We do.
We want to thank you, Deb, so much. It's a treat. It has been amazing. We want to thank you all for joining us here on Lynes on Design. Have a wonderful week.